Hello, hello. Okay, hello everyone. I will try to look very professional, even though I am not professional at all, or I cannot look like I'm professional at all, because I love to be transparent and I love to be authentic. They say authenticity is not in nowadays anymore because people try to look authentic, but they are not authentic. And I was always authentic, and I was always having a problem with it. So let's go. Today, I would like to talk about Clinita. Here is my beautiful whiteboard you cannot see, but obviously I always forget what I want to talk about, and I talk about things I don't want to talk about. So the problem is I need to have some side notes. I would like to talk about Clinita because I feel like there is a lot of questions about it, and I always change the brands I work with. No, not I always change the brands, but you know, I work in PMU. I am in PMU for around 5 years, and I am too naive, so I trust everyone, and when I see some pigments or some brand and I see people working with it, I'm like, oh, that has to be amazing, I have to do it. So first, when I started, I was working with strong pigments and I didn't know how to work with pigments in general, and I really made a lot of bad eyebrows, and some of them I'm removing even today, even now, so that's the truth. Then the second brand I was working with, it was just a complete opposite of the strong pigments. It was just like such a soft pigments, and I didn't really understood how to work with them properly. So then the problem was that I had like no healed results at all, so there was like nothing in the skin, or the brows were completely red after 5 months. So that was another beautiful story of mine, how I almost lost all of my clients. And then I found another brand, and everyone started to work with it, and Russia and Ukraine is the best in permanent makeup in my opinion. So I was like, okay, if it's from these countries, it has to be the best of the best. But I didn't realize we are in a European Union and we really need to work with the pigments certified for this area where we live and where we are. And REACH certification is really something really important for me, for you, for your clients, for the authorities who check the pigments. And this is one of the reasons why I decided for Clinita. One of the reasons, there is tons of other different reasons, but this is one of the most important ones, because I didn't really know what is REACH, and I always heard a lot of other stories around me, and I wasn't really sure who to trust. And I think nowadays on Instagram and nowadays in a social media world, you don't really know who you can trust, and you don't really know what is the truth, and it's hard to trust someone, and it always takes you such a long time to trust someone, because at the moment I feel like everyone is just doing marketing campaigns to sell you everything they have basically, and it doesn't matter if it's a good product or a bad product. I hope this video will not be too negative, and I hope you will understand my point of view, but I am just too transparent, and I just don't want you to have the same problems I had when I first started. So I will not name the brands, only the Clinita one. I will not name other brands because I am not going to create any problems, and we all evolve, and we all educate ourselves, and we all change our opinions, and it's really important to be able to change the opinion and to educate ourselves, because only this way you can grow. And I made tons of mistakes regarding pigments, regarding my courses, regarding how I was teaching other people, and I feel like it's so hard to realize that I was doing so many things in a really wrong way, but at the same time I am very proud of myself that I never stopped learning, and I realized that I really have to know what kind of brand I use and who is behind the brand. And this is the second biggest thing, or this is the second biggest, I don't know how to explain. Okay, the first most important thing for me is that Clinita is a REACH, confirmed. They have certificates, and they recertified after 2 years again, which cost tens of thousands of euros, and they did it. And I love them so much because they really do the things in a hard way, but the right way. And the second thing why I really got in love with Clinita is because of the owners. And at the moment, personal brand is becoming much more popular than the company brand. As you see also on Instagram, influencers and people who have a huge influence on you. And they really are super precious people in this world, because when you do a business, of course, you do it also because of the profit. That's normal. We have to have some money to buy food, to buy nice things, to go on a trip somewhere, to travel, to buy a house, whatever, car, to take care of your kids. Okay, that's normal. But the other thing is that you can earn money good way and a bad way. And this is two different things I look at, and Clinita, in my opinion, is such an amazing company, and why is because of the owners. And I met them already a lot of times. I spent days and days and days with them, and I love them so much. I cannot even describe how much I love them. I cannot even describe how beautiful these people are, how beautiful their souls are, and how much they just work hard to deliver the best, to deliver the most beautiful pigment, the best formulation, the highest quality materials, concentration, everything. It's hard to trust someone nowadays because they, as I told you, they only want you to buy pigments and or products in general, and just they don't care afterwards. But Clinita really cares, and they really want you to do the best, and they want you to use the best materials. They want you to work with the very high quality materials inside, so it's not harmful for the client's health. And when I was in Clinita 2 weeks ago, I spent 3 days with them, and I was learning so much stuff. And I am planning reels, and I am planning also another videos about these topics, which will be really a breakthrough in permanent makeup, because we as PMU artists and PMU trainers, we don't really have the possibility to gain such valuable information, because you need this kind of information, but you cannot get this kind of information from everyone. It's only few people, few dozens of people in the world of permanent makeup who have such a huge experience regarding pigments, regarding mixing, regarding formulations, regarding all the studies, and regarding all the experience you need to create very high quality pigments. And this is why I became in love already last year with Clinita. Also, one of the reasons why I became a distributor of Clinita is because I know Poland, and I know there is a huge amount of unbelievably good artists, and they use Clinita for years already. And I always wanted to take a course from Pavel Pawlowski, I think it's his name, and he's a chemist. He is teaching people about pigmentology, about chemistry, and it goes in depth, and I always wanted to take it, but he's Polish, so he does not speak English at the moment. That's why I still didn't take it. But why I decided to become a distributor was that his wife is a distributor of Clinita pigments, and this is something what really can I don't know how to explain. Sorry for my English, but it really gives you a lot of behind the scenes stuff, and it also clicks together. And when something like him is supporting his wife to be a distributor of this amazing brand, and he knows so much about pigments, then it's just like, you know, it's approved. And I didn't know a lot of things about pigments and what I should look at and what kind of even like reactions can happen in the skin, and how many allergens we have in the body, and what kind of problems we can create for our clients in the future, for the long term. You know, you have to look, when you are working with pigments, you never know how good the pigments are in 1 month. It's a long-term thing. And you should also know that each of these CI color indexes, CI numbers, they have some kind of there is a light fast scale. And each of these pigment has some number, and it means that how it reacts to the photons of the light, and how strong or how vulnerable it is to the UV light. So that means that, oh, it's so hard to explain, but that means how good these pigments will be and how good they will stay in the, skin through to tone. So this is one of the things I will talk about in my online course. It's really easy to understand, but I have to prepare myself a little bit more to talk about it. But it just came to my mind, and I told you in the beginning that sometimes I talk about things I didn't want to talk. Here we are, I'm talking about the things I didn't want to talk. But this is simply my truth. This is simply my thoughts. These are my thoughts, and this is how I do YouTube videos in general. I never prepare scripts, guys. I never ever prepare scripts. If I would need to prepare a script for a video, I would never record a video, because I am a person who wants to talk about things I have in my heart at the moment, and I don't want to prepare something really wow and talk about it. Of course, when I will do online course and when I will record very high quality educative materials you will pay for, I will do it this way. But now I want to become your friend. I don't want to be such a huge specialist in permanent makeup, because I always do mistakes. This is really important for you to understand. I also do mistakes, and I do them all the time, and I learn something new about PMU and about business, beauty business, every day. And I don't want you to think that I don't do mistakes and I am perfect and everything is amazing, because it is not perfect. And I just want to be your friend. I want to be your friend who understands you, who is on the same or who goes the same direction you go, and I want to help you and be your support, and you know I am here for you whenever you need it, and that's it. Now, a little bit of boring stuff. I want to talk about why Clinita is very good, and I have to read it because I never remember these things. So the most important is that they have a very high and very intense concentration, so that means there is a lot of colorant. So if you work the right way with the pigments, you create beautiful results. I have one of the points on the whiteboard is the way of work with Clinita. So today I will also show you on the latex how I place my strokes next to each other and how you should work with Clinita pigments so you get the perfect result. That's one of the things. The second thing is that they are really sterile in a high sterile environment. They look not super modern and super nice, but this is one of the reasons why they are super hygienic. This is how they look. This is a huge sticker we have to have because of the European Union. And another thing is safety, of course, long-lasting. They last around 1.5 years through to tone. And why they don't last super strong after 1.5 years, I will explain. First of all, it is about how you layer the pigment. Second of all, it is about how your client will take care of the brows. And third of all, there is a UV light. And these kind of CI color indexes I was talking about, it's not really easy. It is a physics. And UV light is destroying these molecules in the skin, these colorants. And also, you have other, I don't know how to explain. You have other things in your body who also influence the way how the pigment will look from the long-term perspective. So this is one of the reasons why you can guarantee your client around 1.5 years, and the pigments should leave the skin really softly, slowly but surely, and this is what you want, because what happened to me and what happened to my clients with other pigments, I did a saturated brows for them. Here you can see the video, how it happened, what happened, and what was wrong with that, and why we don't want to do that. And then after 1.5 years, my client came and she had completely gray eyebrows, and I created a nice work. I think it was nice, but it was because of the formulation and also because of the long period of time. You cannot guarantee your client beautiful brown brows after 5 years. It's not simply possible because of the physics. So it's not your fault. And when my client comes to see me, and when other client comes to see me and they had brows done somewhere else and they tell me, oh, they didn't have a high quality product. Okay, it can be one of the things, but the other things what could happen is that they did a nice work, they did everything how they should do it, and the problem was that it was just such a long time. You know, like, you cannot guarantee brown brows after 5 years. It's simply not possible. We have physics and we have some rules, and it works somehow and we cannot change it. That's the thing. And the other thing is that they have very small bottles, 2 bottles, which some people love, some people hate. And they are perfect because you can take 1 bottle, you can use it for a few clients, and then you still have another bottle in the pack, sterile pack, which lasts 10 years because it's in this pack and it's sterile and it's done in the right way. And if you open your bottle so many times, first of all, isopropyl alcohol, which is banned at the moment, but isopropyl alcohol, some kind of alcohol, ethanol, and other types of alcohol, they evaporate from your formula, and it changes your formulation. These are the boring things for you, maybe, why I decided to choose Clinita. For me, they are very, very, very important things, why I love Clinita. And now, maybe quickly, I can show you, or I can tell you about the different formulations. So they have Pro line and they have Everbrow line. Everbrow line is 98% organic line, and Pro line is hybrid line. Some of the pigments have a little bit more organic, some of the pigments have a little bit more inorganic ingredients, but they are perfect. All of them are perfect. You just need to know what kind of pigment to use for what kind of client. That's why you have to understand the ingredient list, and this is what I would like to talk about now. When you take the pigment, you always have ingredients written on the label. So that means that you know what kind of material is inside. And first of all, you should have some kind of sterile water. There should be sterile water, it's really important. Then some kind of glycerin, and also ethanol, ethyl alcohol. Ethanol is a rich, confirmed, good alcohol which can be used in formulations. There is also other type of alcohol I don't know about. I cannot tell you what kind of alcohol they can use too, but ethanol is very high quality alcohol, and isopropyl alcohol is banned because it's not good for the body from the long-term perspective. So European Union had the reasons why they banned these kind of materials, and I trust them, because if these kind of things can cause health problems for our clients, this is the least thing we can do. You know, this is really something we don't want to do for our clients. We want to create beautiful brows, and we don't want to create health issues for them. So that's why. And now you also have some kind of CI numbers. CI means color index, and we can have color index with 7, something, 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 and then other numbers. And if you have 7, it is inorganic pigment, inorganic colorant, and other numbers, it's all the others. But 7 is always inorganic.